This is a quick guide for Argus the Unmaker, the final boss of the seat of the Pantheon, and the new Antorus raid in World of Warcraft. Please note that all of the points in this guide are from a ranged DPS perspective. The first ability Argus will cast is Tortured Rage, which just does around 2 million damage to all raid members. This is unavoidable and needs to be healed through. Gift of the Sea and Sky are two buffs that khaz'goroth will throw out to two random players. If haste and versatility are good for you, grab the Sea buff, the one that looks like a bubble. If mastery and crit are better, grab the Sky buff, the one that looks like lightning. You can stack one of these buffs each time they're thrown out, and you want to make sure you keep grabbing only one of them as they'll cancel each other out. Cone of Death is the first big move to watch out for, and you'll only get a few seconds to move out of the way. Most groups tend to move counterclockwise, so you want to make sure you do quickly to avoid being hit. This will leave a blight patch on the ground for the rest of the phase. Soul Blight is the other ability to watch out for. It'll be cast on a number of random players, and those players will need to move out of the raid to avoid dropping blight on everyone else. Just a heads up for tanks, you want to be taunting after 3 stacks of Sweeping Scythe. Once the boss hits 70%, phase 2 will begin. khaz'goroth will begin casting a storm to clear away the blight, and you want to make sure you're well away from it as it deals a ton of damage. The big thing to watch out for in this phase is Soul Bomb. 2 players will get Soul Bursts, which works similarly to Soul Blight in phase 1, and they'll just need to move out of the group. Soul Bomb, however, deals 10 million damage upon expiry and needs to be soaked by the tank with Agrimar's Boon. They'll be the large lit up tank. Move to a designated spot you should have pre-set up, and wait for the bomb to explode on the tank before carrying on. The other ability in this phase is Edge of Obliteration. Scythes will move around the arena and will mark long blight paths to show where they're about to hurl themselves. Move off these lines and you'll avoid damage. At 40% you'll push through into phase 3. Aman'thul will cause Argus to burst into loads of Algalon type creatures which you'll need to manage. You'll want to be stacked up in the middle to begin this phase. Very shortly after the ads spawn, Norganon will place vulnerabilities on each of them. You'll want to find whichever ad has a weakness to your school of damage, for example physical damage for me, to increase the damage you do by 100%. Cosmic Rays will be cast on a number of players, which works similarly to Edge of Obliteration. However, the targeted players can move which way the beam is facing, so make sure that you move away from others should you be focused. Star Blasts will deal around 1 million burst damage to players, and the cast can be interrupted. However, this should be able to be healed through fine, and you'll want to save interrupts for the next ability. Cosmic Beacon is an ability that should be interrupted at every possible opportunity. If one goes off on a player, they'll be hit with 1.5 million damage, as well as putting a painful debuff on all players. There will also be ads that are buffed periodically, which need to be tanked away from the other players. Once all the ads are down, Argus will reappear and kill everyone, just like in the Lich King fight. ANR will offer her aid this time round, and you'll be able to run over to her tree to revive. The tree will eventually die from reviving players, so make sure you use it carefully and sparingly after your initial res. As soon as you resurrect, you'll want to interrupt End of All Things. This is vital. Deadly Scythe replaces Sweeping Scythe for tanks here, and the damage increase taken debuff is up to 200% and is permanent. If you're being careful with the tree, you can have a tank take it for as long as possible, die, and return via the tree. Every now and then, reorigination module ads will pop up. You need to kill these before the initialization sequence cast goes off, otherwise they'll fill the floor with blight. Upon death, they'll cast Reorigination Pulse, which will produce orbs in the spirit realm. Embers of Rage will be constantly falling onto the ground throughout this phase, noticeable as blue swirls on the ground. Avoid these as you'll take 3 million damage, and apply a painful dot which can stack. Soul Bursts and Bombs continue in this phase, and without an Agrimar buffed tank, that player will just need to get to max range and die. You can resurrect again at the tree. As mentioned, these orbs pop up and are visible when dead. If these are up while you're dead, run into them to give khaz'goroth energy. Once he reaches 20 energy, he'll buff the raid with Titan Forge, increasing damage, healing and movement speed. It's essential you get this buff. If the tree is dead also, you should be focusing purely on collecting orbs. Deal with all of these abilities, I know there's a few, and make sure you get khaz'goroth's buff and you'll get the kill. You'll be rewarded with an epic cinematic, an achievement, and hopefully some amazing loot. Congratulations on clearing the final tier of Legion. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button or subscribe to keep up to date with loads more achievement guides coming soon. Thanks for watching.